Across the vast expanse of the ancient world, from the rugged, windswept peaks of the Caucasus Mountains to the sun-baked sands of Egypt, lie hidden enigmas, structures that defy explanation, challenge our understanding of history, and whisper of forgotten civilizations and technologies far beyond our current comprehension. These sites, the Kurora shaft in the North Caucasus, the Osiris shaft beneath the Giza Plateau, and the potential tomb of Cleopatra near Alexandria, are not mere archaeological curiosities. They are portals to a past so distant, so shrouded in mystery, that they force us to question the very foundations of what we believe to be true about human origins and the rise of civilization. They are the keys to a forgotten history, a history perhaps far grander, more complex, and more interconnected than we have ever dared to imagine.
Our journey begins in the remote wilderness of the North Caucasus, a land of towering mountains, deep gorges, and ancient secrets. Here, in 2011, Russian speleologist Arthur Zhukov, driven by an insatiable curiosity and a thirst for the unknown, made a discovery that would send shockwaves through the archaeological community: the Kurora shaft. What initially appeared to be a simple natural fissure in the mountainside soon revealed itself to be something far more extraordinary. As Zhukov and his team descended into the depths, they found themselves surrounded by walls of precisely cut megalithic blocks, fitted together with a precision that rivals, and in some ways surpasses, the renowned craftsmanship of the Egyptian pyramids. This was no natural cave. It was a vast underground hall, extending hundreds of feet into the earth, a testament to engineering prowess that seemed utterly out of place in such a remote and isolated location. The sheer scale of the Kurora shaft is breathtaking. Massive stone blocks, some weighing over 200 tons, form right angles and create a space that feels both ancient and strangely futuristic. How could such a structure have been built? What tools, what knowledge, what civilization could have conceived of and executed such a monumental feat of engineering, particularly in a region far removed from any known centers of ancient power? The polished walls, the intricate arrangement of stone blocks resembling columns, the very air within the shaft seems to hum with a forgotten energy, a silent testament to a past we can barely grasp. It's important to note that Zhukov's team noticed constant airflow, even deep inside, suggesting advanced ventilation and possibly a connection to other underground areas, as if this shaft was just one part of a larger complex. The mystery of Kurora deepens when we delve into the local legends and folklore. For generations, the people of the North Caucasus have passed down stories of vast underground cities built by civilizations that predate recorded history. These myths speak of beings with advanced knowledge, of technologies lost to time, and of a world swallowed by the earth. Could these legends be more than just fanciful tales? Could they be fragmented memories of a real past, preserved through oral tradition, hinting at a time when the Caucasus was home to a civilization capable of extraordinary achievements? The Kurora shaft lends credence to these ancient stories, suggesting that they may be rooted in a reality far grander than we ever imagined. Let us now journey thousands of miles south, to the land of the pharaohs, to the heart of ancient Egypt. Beneath the iconic Giza Plateau, near the watchful gaze of the Great Sphinx, lies another enigma that mirrors the mysteries of Kurora, the Osiris shaft. This multi-level complex, descending 35 meters into the bedrock, is a testament to extraordinary engineering and a profound understanding of subterranean construction. Like the Kurora shaft, it raises more questions than it answers, challenging our understanding of ancient Egyptian capabilities and the very timeline of their civilization. The lowest chamber of the Osiris shaft, often referred to as the Tomb of Osiris, is particularly intriguing. Here, a granite sarcophagus rests on a platform surrounded by water, a scene that eerily echoes the mythical resting place of Osiris, the god of the underworld, death, and resurrection. But was this truly a tomb in the traditional sense? The unusual materials and construction methods used in the Osiris shaft suggest a purpose far more complex than simple burial. One sarcophagus, discovered on the second level, is crafted from dacite, a volcanic rock not found anywhere in Egypt. Geological analysis confirms that there are no dacite deposits in Africa large enough to yield a block of this size, meaning this 40-ton behemoth must have been transported from a distant land, possibly from Europe or the Black Sea region. The logistics of such an undertaking are mind-boggling. How did the ancient Egyptians, or whoever built this structure, move this massive stone across vast distances, over land and sea, and then lower it with such precision into a shaft not designed for easy access? Further adding to the mystery is the thin metallic coating found on the dacite sarcophagus, containing elements like lead, a material known today for its radiation-shielding properties. Measurements taken within the sarcophagus revealed unusually high levels of gamma radiation, hinting at a function far beyond the preservation of a body. Were the ancient Egyptians, or perhaps a civilization that predates them, aware of the properties of radiation? Did they utilize this knowledge in their construction and rituals? The dating of this sarcophagus adds another layer of complexity, placing it as far back as 3150 BCE, a time that potentially predates the construction of the pyramids and challenges the accepted chronology of ancient Egypt. This suggests that the Osiris shaft may be the work of a forgotten civilization, one whose achievements were later attributed to the pharaohs. Our final destination on this journey of discovery is the proposed tomb of Cleopatra, located near the ancient city of Alexandria at the site of Taposiris Magna. Here, archaeologist Kathleen Martinez, fueled by a lifelong passion for the legendary queen, believes she has found Cleopatra's final resting place. While the identification of this site remains a subject of ongoing debate within the archaeological community, the discoveries made there are undeniably significant and share intriguing parallels with the mysteries of Kurora and Osiris. The site features a vast, unfinished tunnel, carved with remarkable precision into the bedrock, leading to a series of chambers. This subterranean complex, while not as ancient as the other two sites, echoes the underground construction found at Kurora and Osiris, suggesting a shared tradition of engineering, or perhaps even the preservation of ancient knowledge across millennia. The scale and design of the tunnel at Taposiris Magna imply that it was intended for someone of paramount importance, a ruler of immense power and prestige, possibly Cleopatra herself. Within these chambers, Martinez's team unearthed a wealth of artifacts, including coins bearing Cleopatra's likeness, statues and inscriptions, some of which refer to a Queen of Kings, a title often associated with the last pharaoh of Egypt. While the potential tomb of Cleopatra may not possess the same raw ancient power as Kurora or Osiris, it nevertheless adds another piece to the puzzle. It suggests that the tradition of subterranean construction, of creating hidden spaces beneath the earth, persisted through the ages, perhaps passed down from the very civilizations that built the earlier structures. Did the builders of Cleopatra's era draw upon ancient knowledge, inherited from a forgotten past? Was there a continuous thread of understanding, a secret tradition of engineering and technology that linked these disparate sites across vast stretches of time?
Deep within the desert sands of Abydos, Egypt, approximately 350 miles south of the Giza Plateau, lies a structure that continues to confound archaeologists and historians, the Osirian. Officially attributed to Pharaoh Seti, the first of the 19th dynasty, circa 1290 to 1279 BCE. This enigmatic monument presents a series of architectural, logistical, and hydrological anomalies that strongly suggest a far older and potentially pre-dynastic origin. The Osirians' mysteries challenge the conventional timeline of ancient Egyptian civilization and raise profound questions about the capabilities of cultures that may have predated the pharaohs.
The Osirians' design is a radical departure from the established norms of Egyptian temple architecture. Throughout the Old, Middle, and New Kingdoms, Egyptian temples such as Karnak at Thebes, dedicated to Amun-Re and expanded over centuries, primarily from the Middle Kingdom onward, and the Luxor Temple, largely constructed during the New Kingdom by Amenhotep III and Ramesses II, adhered to a predominantly linear and rectangular layout. These temples typically featured pylons, hypostyle halls, sanctuaries, and courtyards, all arranged along a central axis. The Osirion, in contrast, possesses a unique L-shaped configuration, a feature not found in any other known Egyptian temple of the dynastic period. This fundamental difference in design raises critical questions about its intended purpose and the cultural context in which it was built. Was it designed for a different set of rituals, perhaps connected to a belief system distinct from the well-documented Egyptian pantheon? Furthermore, the Osirion's construction employs colossal rose granite blocks, some weighing an estimated 100 tons. These stones were quarried in Aswan, located over 200 miles south of Abydos. While the ancient Egyptians were undeniably skilled engineers, evidenced by the construction of the pyramids, primarily during the Old Kingdom, 4th dynasty, the transportation and precise placement of such massive blocks, especially granite, in a location relatively far from the Nile River, presents a formidable logistical challenge. The Nile served as the primary highway of ancient Egypt, facilitating the transport of heavy materials. The Old Kingdom Egyptians, who built the Giza pyramids, primarily used limestone, which is softer and easier to quarry and work than granite. While they did use granite for specific elements, like portcullises and some sarcophagi, the scale of its use in the Osirion is unprecedented for such an early period, according to mainstream dating. Granite, being an exceptionally hard igneous rock, requires specialized tools and techniques to shape and manipulate. While the Egyptians of the dynastic periods possessed copper tools, and later bronze, an alloy of copper and tin, becoming more common during the Middle Kingdom, the working of such large granite blocks with these tools, achieving such precision, remains a subject of intense debate. Some researchers suggest that the level of craftsmanship displayed in the Osirion points to a technology beyond what is currently attributed to the early dynastic or even Old Kingdom Egyptians. The Osirion is situated adjacent to the Temple of Seti I, a well-documented structure of the 19th dynasty. However, archaeological evidence, including stratigraphic analysis and the relative positioning of the structures, strongly indicates that the Osirion predates Seti's temple, potentially by centuries, if not millennia. Seti I, like many pharaohs, likely chose this location to associate his reign with the ancient sanctity of the Osirion, a practice common throughout Egyptian history. Pharaohs often built upon or near older sacred sites, drawing upon the perceived power and prestige of their predecessors, and attempting to establish a continuity of divine favor. Abydos itself was a deeply significant location, associated with the cult of Osiris, the god of the afterlife, from the earliest periods of Egyptian history. The early dynastic rulers were buried at Abydos, further emphasizing the site's long-standing religious importance. One of the most striking and perplexing features of the Osirion is the almost complete absence of Egyptian hieroglyphs and decorative artwork. This stands in stark contrast to virtually every other known Egyptian temple or tomb, which are typically adorned with inscriptions detailing religious beliefs, royal achievements, and historical events. Even when later pharaohs renovated older structures, they almost invariably added their own inscriptions, creating a palimpsest of historical and religious narratives. The Osirion's bare walls are a profound anomaly, offering no textual clues to its builders, purpose, or the deities to whom it might have been dedicated. This absence of inscription is highly unusual, even for very early dynastic structures. The Osirion's subterranean layout is another significant deviation from standard Egyptian architectural practices. The entire structure lies approximately 15 feet below the current ground level. This has prompted some researchers to propose that the structure is considerably older than the currently accepted date, potentially predating the accumulation of sand and sediment over millennia. This hypothesis suggests a construction date in a far earlier, perhaps pre-dynastic era. Adding further weight to the argument for a much earlier date are the patterns of water erosion observed on the limestone enclosure surrounding the Osirion. These erosion patterns, characterized by deep vertical fissures and rounded edges, are inconsistent with the gradual weathering caused by wind and sand. Some researchers, including geologist Robert Schoch, argue that these erosion features are indicative of prolonged exposure to heavy rainfall, a climatic condition that existed in the Sahara region at the end of the last ice age, specifically during and after the Younger Dryas period 10,900 to 9700 BCE. This timeline would place the Osirian's construction well before the rise of dynastic Egypt, aligning it with a period of significant global climate change and potentially linking it to a much earlier and largely unknown period of human history. Perhaps the most baffling aspect of the Osirian is the persistent presence of water within the structure. Modern seismic and ground-penetrating radar surveys have revealed that the visible portion of the Osirian is merely the uppermost level of a much larger, multi-layered complex extending at least 50 feet below the current floor. Subsurface chambers have been detected, but they remain largely unexplored due to the constant influx of water that fills the lower levels. The source of this water is a complete mystery. Despite repeated attempts to pump it out, even using powerful pumps capable of removing hundreds of gallons per minute, the water level consistently replenishes itself at an astonishing rate. Archaeologist James Westerman's extensive efforts to drain the structure have been met with persistent failure, leading him to conclude that the water is originating from within the structure itself, a phenomenon that defies conventional hydrological explanations, especially in a desert environment. Westerman's team has conducted detailed chemical and isotopic analyses of the water, revealing a unique composition distinct from nearby wells and aquifers, including the Nile River. The water's isotopic profile suggests it does not originate from local precipitation or known groundwater sources. The water behaves in some ways like a geyser, exhibiting pressure and upward flow, yet there is no evidence of volcanic or geothermal activity in the area that could account for this phenomenon. Furthermore, the water inside the Osirian consistently maintains a temperature of 23.8 Celsius, significantly warmer than the water outside the structure, which measures 16.9 Celsius. This temperature differential violates the second law of thermodynamics, which dictates that heat cannot spontaneously transfer from a colder to a warmer body without external work being done. This implies the existence of an unknown heat source within the Osirian, further deepening the mystery. Westerman's anecdotal report of improved eyesight after regularly consuming the filtered water adds another intriguing, albeit scientifically unverified, layer to the puzzle. The Osirion of Abydos presents a compelling and multifaceted challenge to the established narrative of ancient Egyptian history. Its architectural anomalies, the significant dating discrepancies suggested by multiple lines of evidence, the enigmatic and seemingly inexhaustible water source with its anomalous properties, and the complete lack of dynastic Egyptian ornamentation all point towards a far older and more complex origin than currently acknowledged by mainstream Egyptology.
Imagine a place lost in time, hidden deep within the jungles of Indonesia. A place where ancient secrets whisper on the wind, and giant stone faces stare out from the past. This is the Bada Valley, a land of forgotten wonders. Here, massive statues stand watch over the forest, their origins shrouded in mystery. And scattered amongst the trees are enormous stone jars, their purpose unknown. Who created these incredible monuments? What were they used for? And why do they seem to echo ancient sites found across the world? Come with us on a journey to this remote and magical valley. Let's explore the clues, unravel the stories, and try to understand the people who left their mark on this timeless landscape.
Deep in central Sulawesi, Indonesia, lies the enigmatic Bada Valley within Lor Lindu National Park. This remote area hosts mysterious megaliths, towering humanoid statues, and massive stone jars called arca and kalamba. Their origins and purpose remain one of archaeology's great enigmas. In the early 20th century, missionary and ethnographer Albert C. Kruit introduced these megaliths to the world. He documented the colossal figures and observed locals offering prayers for harvests or rain, yet they knew nothing of the creators, saying the statues predated their ancestors. Over 400 megalithic artifacts are scattered in the Bada, Besoa and Napu valleys, including about 400 stone jars and around 30 humanoid statues. Found in clusters and isolated spots, they hint at a widespread cultural practice, yet no evidence links them to known civilizations. The statues are awe-inspiring. Large heads on straight, legless bodies with prominently carved genitalia highlighted by hand placement. Some depict pregnant females. The largest, Palindo, the entertainer, stands over 15 feet tall and weighs about 10 tons. Fascinatingly, these statues resemble megalithic figures worldwide. Colombia's San Agustin statues share similar features: large heads, legless bodies, and similar hand placements. Easter Island's Moai also echo these traits. The same hand postures appear at Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe in Turkey, dating back 12,000 years. The Urfa man from Turkey, circa 9000 BCE, exhibits an identical stance. These parallels raise profound questions. How could cultures separated by vast oceans and millennia produce such strikingly similar artistic expressions? Could there have been a global ancient civilization connecting these societies? Or is there a universal symbolism embedded deep within the human psyche? Returning to the kalamba, the giant stone jars, the mystery deepens. Located mainly in southern Law Lindu National Park, these jars, carved from non-local stones, pose logistical puzzles. They are uniformly massive, often sealed with heavy lids, featuring intricate animal designs that don't match local species. The jar's purpose is speculative. Some suggest tombs, but many are too shallow. Legends say they were royal bathtubs, but heavy lids and remote locations make this unlikely. Interior ridges with no clear function add to the mystery. An intriguing theory suggests the jars were made using stone softening technology, shaping granite like clay. Horizontal lines resemble those made by spinning clay on a wheel. Could they indicate a rotational technique? Some jars show burn marks or traces of melted metal, possibly gold, hinting they may have been used in metallurgical processes. With rich gold deposits nearby, perhaps the jars played a role in ancient mining or metalworking. Venturing beyond Indonesia, the mystery deepens with similar megalithic jars found thousands of miles away in Laos. The Plain of Jars, one of Southeast Asia's most enigmatic archaeological sites, features around 3,000 large stone jars scattered across rolling hills. Like their Indonesian counterparts, these jars vary in size, some towering up to 10 feet tall and weighing several tons. Carved from sandstone, granite and limestone, they share a cylindrical shape and often have rims at the top, hinting they were once sealed. Local legends in Laos tell of giants led by King Kun Chung, who created these enormous jars to brew and store vast quantities of rice wine after a victorious war. While mythological, this tale echoes the mysteries surrounding the jar's true purpose and creators. Tragically, the Plain of Jars was heavily bombarded during the Secret War, a covert US operation during the Laotian Civil War from 1964 to 1969. The area remains littered with unexploded ordnance, making exploration dangerous. Despite these challenges, recent studies suggest the jars are at least 3,000 years old, deepening the enigma of their origin. The similarities between the jars of Bada Valley and those in Laos are striking. Both sets are massive, carved from non-local stone and found in regions without evidence of ancient settlements. Even the decorative motifs on the lids, featuring animals and human-like figures, bear remarkable resemblances. The mystery doesn't end there. In the dense forests of Assam, India, researchers have uncovered more than 100 giant stone jars across 15 newly discovered sites. Located about 500 miles from the Plain of Jars and over 2,500 miles from Bada Valley, these jars expand the geographical scope of this phenomenon. They vary in shape and size, some tall and cylindrical, others partially or fully buried, and are situated along hills and ridgelines. Archaeologist Nicholas Skopal remarked, "We still don't know who made the giant jars or where they lived. It's all a bit of a mystery. There must be more, because every time we wander out, we find new sites." His words underscore the vast unknown surrounding these artifacts. The consistent appearance of these jars across distant locations suggests more than coincidence. Could there have been an ancient civilization with far-reaching influence across Asia? Or did multiple cultures independently develop similar practices? Researchers acknowledge connections between the jars in Indonesia, Laos, and India, suggesting a cultural relationship transcending borders and time. As research continues and new discoveries emerge, perhaps we will one day unravel the secrets within these silent sentinels. Until then, they stand as enduring testaments to human creativity and the mysteries of our shared past, a past that challenges our understanding of ancient civilizations and their interconnectedness. If you liked this video, then you're going to love our next adventure. Venture to the mystical Vottovaara mountain in Russia's Republic of Karelia, a place steeped in ancient lore and shrouded in mystery. For millennia, Sami shamans have revered this enigmatic mountain as a sacred site, conducting rituals amidst its strange megalithic structures and energy vortexes. Explore the perplexing Sades, 1,600 sacred stones arranged in a baffling order, and the enigmatic well, believed to be an ancient, artificially constructed water reservoir. Could these be remnants of a lost civilization or evidence of ancient technologies beyond our understanding? Join us as we unravel the secrets of Vottovaara Mountain, a place where the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds seems to thin.
Deep within the unforgiving wilderness of Russia, where ancient forests whisper secrets and shadows dance with the unknown, lies a mountain shrouded in legend. Vottovaara, a place where the laws of nature seem to bend and the boundaries between the real and the supernatural blur. Here, trees twist in silent agony, their forms defying logic and reason. An unsettling silence hangs heavy in the air, broken only by the wind whistling through the skeletal branches. Life, as we know it, seems to have abandoned this place. Locals call it Death Mountain. Scattered across this desolate landscape are thousands of ancient stones, the remnants of a forgotten past. Were they placed by human hands or by forces beyond our comprehension? What secrets do they hold? Ruins emerge from the undergrowth, hinting at a lost civilization, a culture that vanished into the mists of time. Who were these people? What knowledge did they possess, and why did they disappear? On the shores of a nearby lake, ancient rock carvings whisper tales of a time before history. Strange figures and symbols, etched into the very fabric of the mountain, offer tantalizing clues to a forgotten world. Deep within the unforgiving wilderness of Russia, where ancient forests whisper secrets and shadows dance with the unknown, lies a mountain shrouded in legend. Vottovaara, a place where the laws of nature seem to bend and the boundaries between the real and the supernatural blur. Here, trees twist in silent agony, their forms defying logic and reason. An unsettling silence hangs heavy in the air, broken only by the wind whistling through the skeletal branches. Life, as we know it, seems to have abandoned this place. Locals call it Death Mountain. Scattered across this desolate landscape are thousands of ancient stones, the remnants of a forgotten past. Were they placed by human hands or by forces beyond our comprehension? What secrets do they hold? Ruins emerge from the undergrowth, hinting at a lost civilization, a culture that vanished into the mists of time. Who were these people? What knowledge did they possess, and why did they disappear? On the shores of a nearby lake, ancient rock carvings whisper tales of a time before history. Strange figures and symbols, etched into the very fabric of the mountain, offer tantalizing clues to a forgotten world. Is Vottovaara a window into a lost civilization? A place where the veil between worlds is thin? Or is it merely a natural anomaly, a testament to the power of human imagination? Join us as we journey to find out.
In the remote wilderness of Russia's Karelia Republic lies Vottovaara, a mountain enveloped in legend and mystery. Locals whisper of its otherworldly energy, a place where trees twist unnaturally and ancient stones defy understanding. This rugged landscape, once part of ancient Finland, has been revered for millennia by the Sami tribes and shamans, ancestors of modern Finns. They believed Vottovaara held special spiritual power, and today it continues to draw those curious enough to unravel its unexplained phenomena. As one ascends Vottovaara, the mountain's strangeness becomes increasingly apparent. The journey begins through dense pine and fir forests, but soon the trees start to twist and contort in unnatural ways. Trunks spiral as if caught in a slow-motion dance, and branches curve downward, forming eerie shapes that challenge logic. At the summit, no tree is older than a few decades, suggesting an unseen force periodically resets the forest's life cycle, leaving a landscape frozen in endless renewal. The unsettling atmosphere is heightened by an almost supernatural silence. No birds call, no creatures scurry, and the lakes dotting the slopes are devoid of fish. This absence of life, combined with the twisted trees and desolate atmosphere, has led locals to nickname it Death Mountain. Yet, despite its eerie reputation, Vottovaara attracts explorers, spiritual seekers, and curious minds alike. Adding to the enigma are about 1,600 massive stones known as sides, arranged across the terrain in deliberate formations. Sacred to the Sami, these stones were believed to represent spirits of nature or earth guardians. Balanced delicately on smaller rocks, they appear to float just above the ground, their massive weight seemingly defying gravity. While some scientists attribute their positions to glacial movements during the Ice Age, the precise balancing of so many stones challenges this explanation. What are the odds that 1,600 stones would rest so perfectly in such precarious positions? If these stones were placed by human hands, it raises questions about how ancient people achieved such feats. The delicate balance suggests they were placed with great care, ensuring the smaller supporting rocks weren't crushed. Could an ancient civilization have possessed advanced knowledge or tools beyond our understanding? And if so, what purpose did these sides serve? Were they markers, altars, or part of a complex spiritual map laid across the mountain? One of the most intriguing features is a formation known as the Well. Locals speculate that this stone structure is an ancient man-made reservoir, with blocks cut into rectangular shapes too precise for natural erosion. Despite centuries of weathering that have cracked and deformed the stones, remnants of precise interlockings remain, hinting at human craftsmanship. Similar structures exist elsewhere in Europe, such as the carved tank at Bulgaria's Perperikon sanctuary, which channels water through intricate grooves, surviving thousands of years. Might the Vottovaara well share a connection with such sites, hinting at a broader lost knowledge that spanned ancient Europe? If so, how did ancient builders across vast distances and time share similar techniques? Scattered among the megaliths are other enigmatic artifacts, smooth, oval stone spheres often resting on natural pedestals. Their surfaces, worn but clearly crafted, resemble finds near the Bosnian Pyramid and in Costa Rica, where over 300 such spheres have been uncovered. Their purpose remains unknown. Were they used in ancient rituals? Symbols of lost knowledge connecting distant peoples? Or merely artistic expressions lost to time? The similarities between these objects across far-flung sites suggest connections modern science has yet to explain, leaving a tantalizing mystery. Beyond the seeds, spheres, and well, Vottovaara reveals more structures that challenge natural explanations. One appears to be the remains of ancient stairs, partially buried in the rugged terrain. The stones forming these steps are squared and smoothed, fitting together with precision that seems artificial, like a staircase leading nowhere, perhaps once part of a larger, lost complex. While some scientists suggest natural geological formations, visitors often leave with the impression that the mountain holds secrets, defying easy explanations. Another curious ruin resembles a prehistoric wall composed of large, squared stone blocks fitting together with uncanny precision. Though weathered by time, the blocks retain traces of their original smoothness, hinting at sophisticated craftsmanship. Is it possible that this wall, like other structures on Vottovaara, was built by a civilization that has vanished, taking its knowledge and techniques into history's mists? The mysteries extend beyond physical structures. On the eastern bank of Lake Onega, Europe's second largest lake, lies ancient rock art known as the Onega petroglyphs. Carved into granite cliffs rising from the lake, these 1,200 carvings are estimated to be 5,000 to 6,000 years old. Remarkably, they use light and shadow to transform the cliffs into a prehistoric canvas that shifts with the setting sun. During the day, the carvings are nearly invisible, blending into the rocky surface. But as the sun descends, the granite turns a deep red, and the images emerge in stark relief, illuminated in a stunning natural display. It's as if the ancient artists intentionally chose this location to bring their visions to life using nature's light. The imagery of the Onega petroglyphs is as mysterious as Vottovaara itself. Unlike familiar motifs of Eurasian rock art, these carvings predominantly feature waterbirds, especially swans, etched with precision that suggests deep reverence. The most striking figure is a human-like creature with a rectangular body and an oversized square head, over 2.5 meters long. Carved into a rock overlooking Lake Onega, its placement suggests it was seen as a spiritual gateway to the netherworld by the Neolithic people. Centuries later, Christian monks defaced the figure, carving a 7-pointed orthodox cross over it, believing it to be a symbol of the devil. Their actions were part of efforts to suppress what they saw as pagan beliefs, leaving a legacy of conflict and cultural erasure. Yet, despite attempts to suppress the mountain's spiritual legacy, Vottovaara's allure endures. Today, many visitors journey to this remote region, drawn by its palpable energy. They come to meditate among the ancient stones, hoping to connect with the spirits said to inhabit this mystical place. Walking among twisted trees, enigmatic formations, and ancient carvings, they ponder, is Vottovaara a relic of a lost civilization where ancient knowledge intersects with unexplained natural forces? Or is it simply a natural anomaly, its reputation shaped by centuries of human imagination and wonder?
Nestled deep within the rugged landscape of Karnataka, India, a land already rich in ancient history and archaeological wonders, stands Maliabad Fort, a colossal enigma that throws into sharp relief the limitations of our current understanding of the past. While officially attributed to the 13th century Delhi Sultanate, a closer examination of this monumental structure reveals a narrative far more complex, more ancient, and potentially revolutionary. Maliabad Fort is not merely a medieval bastion. It's a palimpsest of history, with layers of occupation and construction that hint at a civilization lost to time. A civilization capable of feats of engineering that defy conventional explanations.
The immediate and overwhelming challenge to the accepted narrative comes from the fort's perimeter walls. Imagine a structure that stretches for a staggering 5 kilometers, encircling a vast area. These aren't the typical, relatively modest fortifications of medieval India. These walls rise almost 10 meters in height, a formidable barrier constructed from granite blocks of truly colossal proportions. Some of these blocks reach lengths of 6 meters and weigh multiple tons, dwarfing the stones used in most historical fortifications. But it's not just the size that's remarkable, it's the method of construction. This is cyclopean masonry, a technique characterized by the use of massive, irregularly shaped stones, fitted together with an almost unbelievable precision without any mortar or binding agent whatsoever. The stones are interlocked so perfectly, so seamlessly, that the joints are virtually invisible. As the saying goes, you couldn't slip a blade of grass between them. This isn't the work of hasty construction. It's a testament to an almost incomprehensible level of skill and planning. They also possess amazing resilience to earthquakes. This type of masonry is profoundly significant because it's not characteristic of the Delhi Sultanate, nor of any other known medieval Indian power. Instead, it bears a striking, undeniable resemblance to the cyclopean walls found at ancient megalithic sites across the globe. Consider Sacsayhuaman, the colossal Inca fortress near Cusco, Peru. The similarities are uncanny. The same massive, irregularly shaped stones, the same perfect interlocking, the same absence of mortar. The parallels extend to Mycenaean Greece, with its Lion Gate and the treasury of Atreus, to the enigmatic stone platforms of Easter Island, and to numerous other sites scattered across the continents. This raises a fundamental and deeply unsettling question. Is this global distribution of cyclopean masonry a mere coincidence, a case of independent invention across vastly different cultures and time periods? Or does it point to something far more profound? A shared cultural heritage, a lost technological tradition, or perhaps even a forgotten, globally connected civilization that predates our current understanding of history? The granite itself presents another layer of the puzzle. Granite is notoriously difficult to work, even with modern tools and machinery. It's incredibly hard and resistant to shaping. To quarry blocks of the size found at Maliabad, to transport them over significant distances, the quarry source remains unknown. And then to lift and precisely position them with such accuracy would have required an extraordinary level of social organization, engineering knowledge, and technological capability. Consider the logistics. How are these multi-ton blocks extracted from the earth? What tools were used? How were they moved across the terrain, potentially over considerable distances? And most crucially, how were they lifted into place and fitted together with such breathtaking precision? The accepted 13th century timeline simply doesn't offer a plausible explanation for these feats. The Delhi Sultanate, while skilled builders, primarily worked with smaller, more manageable stones and employed mortar-based construction techniques. Their architectural style, heavily influenced by Persian and Central Asian traditions, favored arches, domes, and intricate decorative elements, features conspicuously absent from the core structure of Maliabad's walls. The stones are smoothly polished on their faces, meaning they offer no easy footholds. The construction goes beyond the surface level. The exterior of perfectly fitted granite is backed by another layer of stone, which is then backed by rubble. This is similar to the Romans' opus caementicium, however, without the cement. The 13th century was a period of significant upheaval and transformation in India. The Delhi Sultanate, a powerful Islamic empire originating from Central Asia, had extended its dominion across much of the subcontinent, establishing a new political and cultural order. These were undoubtedly skilled administrators and builders, responsible for impressive mosques, tombs, and fortifications. It's entirely plausible, and indeed highly probable, that the Sultanate utilized Maliabad Fort, recognizing its strategic importance. The fort's location, commanding access to the surrounding region and controlling key trade routes, would have made it an invaluable asset. It likely served as a military garrison, protecting the Sultanate's borders from rivals and potential invaders, particularly the ever-present threat of Mongol incursions. It would also have functioned as an administrative center, a place for collecting taxes, enforcing laws, and projecting the Sultanate's power into the local populace. The presence of marketplaces and trade routes nearby would have further enhanced the fort's importance as a hub of commerce and communication. However, while the Sultanate certainly occupied and likely modified Maliabad Fort, the overwhelming evidence suggests that they did not build its core structure. The Cyclopean walls, the architectural style, the construction techniques, and the sheer scale of the undertaking are simply incompatible with the Sultanate's known capabilities and building practices. They may have added to the fort, repaired sections, or built secondary structures, but the foundational elements point to a far older, far more mysterious origin. Beyond the Cyclopean masonry itself, numerous other anomalies further challenge the official narrative and point towards a prehistoric origin for Maliabad Fort. Within the vicinity of the fort lies a Shiva temple, a site of religious significance. While temples are often renovated and rebuilt over centuries, the exquisite craftsmanship of the black granite Nandi statue and the Shiva lingam within this temple raises questions. The polished surfaces and intricate details suggest a level of artistry and precision that seems incongruous with the 13th century context. Even more intriguing, discovered remnants of prehistoric stone blocks within and around the temple, bearing what appear to be machine-like marks and cuts, impossibly precise for hand tools. These markings, if authenticated, would further strengthen the case for a prehistoric origin. Maliabad Fort stands as a profound challenge to conventional historical timelines and a testament to the potential for undiscovered, advanced civilizations in our ancient past. The evidence, while circumstantial in some respects, strongly suggests that the accepted 13th century dating only accounts for a later phase of the fort's history, a period of occupation and modification by the Delhi Sultanate. The core structure, particularly the Cyclopean walls, exhibits characteristics that unequivocally point towards a far more ancient origin, possibly predating any known civilization in the region.
To think that somebody was here 5,000 years ago organising this, and to think we can come now and witness what they planned, that is a miracle. I think it must be as close to immortality as you could hope to get. To build something and have people come along to watch it in perfect working order 5,000 years after you've lived.
Find out what's happening here at the mound now, we spoke to Professor O'Kelly.
Well, the monument, as you have heard, is 4,000 years old and now needs some repairs. We should do some investigation around the edge of the mound before these repairs are undertaken. We have a quite new and intriguing problem to solve, perhaps next year when we can excavate farther into the mound.
On a remote hill in the rolling countryside of Ireland lies a monument shrouded in mystery. This ancient structure, known as Newgrange, has perplexed archaeologists, historians, and scientists for centuries. It is not merely a burial site, it is a marvel of prehistoric engineering.
It is one of the largest, one of the most highly decorated tombs of this type in Western Europe.
But more than that, it may be the key to a deeper secret. A celestial code, perhaps the world's first star map, etched in stone by a civilization long before the written word. Newgrange was rediscovered by accident in 1699 when labourers, working for landowner Charles Campbell, unearthed the entrance while quarrying stone. What they found was extraordinary. A massive mound, circled by 97 enormous curbstones, some engraved with swirling patterns that seemed to dance with ancient meaning. The true purpose of the structure has remained elusive ever since. Was it a tomb, a monument to the dead, or did it serve a far greater purpose? The monument is enormous, standing 12 meters tall and covering over an acre. Its construction required an estimated 200,000 tons of stone and earth. Some of these stones, weighing up to 10 tons each, were transported from quarries up to 80 kilometers away. Without modern machinery, how did ancient builders move such massive stones, and for what purpose?
How did this great big stone and so many of them get up here?
We think that many of these big stones were lying about on the land surface since the end of the Ice Age.
At the heart of Newgrange is a narrow passage leading to a central chamber. This passage aligns perfectly with the rising sun on the winter solstice. For a few brief moments, the sun's rays illuminate the chamber, casting light on the stone carvings within. This celestial alignment is no accident. It suggests that the builders of Newgrange possessed a sophisticated understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and engineering, an astonishing achievement for a culture from 3200 BCE. The carved symbols, spirals, lozenges, and circular motifs further add to the intrigue.
I think you can see here this panel of zigzag or chevron ornamentation.
Scholars have debated their meaning for centuries. Are they simple decorations, or do they hold a deeper significance? Some suggest that the spirals might represent celestial patterns, an ancient map of the stars. Others believe the carvings may have been used to track the movement of the sun and moon, creating an early calendar system. But perhaps Newgrange wasn't just an observatory. Some researchers suggest it could be the earliest known attempt to map the cosmos, a structure designed to help its builders navigate the heavens. It raises the question: how did people in an era before written records possess such precise astronomical knowledge? The accuracy with which Newgrange was built has sparked intense debate. The positioning of the passageway so that the sun reaches its innermost chamber on the exact day of the winter solstice seems almost impossible to achieve without advanced tools. Did the builders rely solely on generations of careful observation, or might they have had access to lost knowledge? Some speculate that Newgrange is the product of an advanced, forgotten civilization, one whose understanding of the cosmos and engineering far surpassed what we thought possible for the time. In the nearby Boyne Valley, other monuments such as Noath and Douth also show striking astronomical alignments. These sites appear to form a connected complex, with each monument playing a role in a grand cosmic design. The region may have been a center of celestial observation, with its monuments serving as more than just tombs, but as places of knowledge, perhaps even communication with the stars. The transportation of massive stones across great distances adds another layer of mystery. The granite slabs, some weighing up to 10 tons, were quarried from sites 80 kilometers away. The builders' ability to move these stones without modern technology remains an unanswered question. Did they use basic tools, or could they have possessed techniques that have been lost to time? This leads us to one of the most tantalizing ideas surrounding Newgrange, the possibility of a global connection between ancient structures. The precision seen at Newgrange mirrors that found in other megalithic sites, such as Stonehenge in England and the pyramids of Egypt. These monuments, spread across continents, all show extraordinary astronomical precision. Could they be part of a larger ancient network, linked by a shared purpose? Perhaps even a shared origin? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Newgrange, we are left with more questions than answers. Some suggest that these monuments were part of a prehistoric effort to chart the cosmos. Others propose more radical theories that the builders were influenced by an unknown advanced culture, or even extraterrestrial beings who shared their knowledge of the stars with early humans. While these ideas remain speculative, the mysteries of Newgrange continue to captivate researchers. What if the purpose of Newgrange goes far beyond our current understanding? Could it hold the key to unlocking a forgotten chapter of human history? One in which our ancestors were far more advanced than we ever imagined. As our exploration of Newgrange deepens, we begin to see it as more than just a tomb or a monument to the dead. The precise alignment of its passage with the winter solstice suggests that it may have been used as a kind of Stone Age observatory, a tool for tracking the sun and the stars, and possibly much more. Let's examine the carvings once again. The spirals and other motifs may not be random decorations. Some researchers have proposed that these designs represent the movement of celestial bodies, early attempts to chart the sky. If this is true, then Newgrange could be one of the oldest star maps in existence, created by a culture that sought to understand their place in the universe through the study of the heavens. But Newgrange is not the only site where these motifs appear. Similar symbols have been found on ancient monuments across the globe, from the deserts of the American Southwest to the mountains of Peru. This raises a fascinating question. Were these cultures, separated by vast distances, somehow connected? Could they have shared knowledge of the stars, despite the geographical barriers? One of the most intriguing aspects of Newgrange is the possibility that its builders possessed knowledge that has since been lost. How else can we explain the precision of its construction or the complexity of the carvings? Some researchers suggest that there may have been a forgotten civilization, one with a profound understanding of astronomy and engineering that passed this knowledge down through generations. In recent years, new technologies have allowed scientists to take a closer look at Newgrange. Ground-penetrating radar has revealed hidden chambers and passageways beneath the surface, suggesting that the monument is far more complex than previously thought. What secrets might these undiscovered areas hold? Could they provide further evidence of the monument's astronomical purpose? Nearby, the mound at Noth adds to the intrigue. This site contains over 200 decorated stones, making it one of the largest concentrations of megalithic art in Europe. Like Newgrange, Noth shows evidence of astronomical alignment, with its passages oriented toward both the equinoxes and the solstices. These sites may have formed a kind of prehistoric observatory complex, where ancient astronomers gathered to study the movements of the heavens. But the mysteries don't end there. Some theorists believe that the purpose of Newgrange and other ancient monuments has been deliberately hidden. They argue that the true nature of these sites has been suppressed by modern institutions, fearing what it might reveal about the origins of human civilization. If Newgrange truly is a star map, what does that say about the level of knowledge possessed by its builders? Could the alignment of these ancient monuments with celestial bodies be evidence of a forgotten age of exploration, an era when humans sought to map not just the Earth, but the heavens as well? Or is there a more profound explanation, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about our ancestors? As new discoveries continue to emerge, one thing is certain: Newgrange is a monument to a forgotten people who understood the universe in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. The more we learn about this ancient structure, the clearer it becomes that its secrets may hold the key to understanding our place in the cosmos. What other revelations await us as we continue to explore Newgrange and its sister monuments? Could this be the world's first star map? A gift from an advanced civilization, or perhaps even a message from beyond our world? The mystery continues to unfold, and with it, our understanding of the past grows ever more complex. The answers may be closer than we think.
If you enjoyed the video, you might find this one on Mohenjo-Daro intriguing. The sudden transformation of this ancient city into glass remains a captivating mystery. Theories range from an ancient nuclear explosion to intense heat from a fire or meteorite impact. The true cause remains uncertain, adding to the enigma surrounding the disappearance of this remarkable civilization.
Mohenjo-Daro, in this valley, the buildings turned to glass. The sand turned to glass, and the bodies are still laying in the street right now today, holding hands, never been scavenged by animals.
They had no historical evidence of that. There's no text. It was not mentioned in any books. It was
really?
It was found as an accident. They found it by accident.
This is evidence of a nuclear war. That's 3,000 plus degree temperature weapons fire.
They explain how the devastation looks, right? They talk about how high the temperature goes, how it looked like a sun when the explosion happened, how all the vegetation was completely wiped off and there were no plants or trees growing for the next 12 to 25 years.
They describe them as weapons that once released can't be revolted or can't be turned back, and that they will obliterate any area, any city. And they say that one of the weapons can destroy any man on 3 worlds. It's crazy stuff. This is where Oppenheimer got his famous quote when he obviously tested the nuke.
I remembered the line from the Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
In hidden corners of our world, beneath mountains and deserts, lie structures that defy explanation. Massive stones, carved and positioned with such precision, challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations. Could these be remnants of a lost advanced society, or evidence of beings not of this earth? In Russia's North Caucasus, explorer Arthur Zhemukov discovered an underground complex within Kara Hora Mountain in 2011. Geometrically precise stone slabs, some weighing over 200 tons, formed structures seemingly impossible for ancient builders. Who created this colossal hall, and why? Buried beneath Egypt's sands is the Osirion, a subterranean structure composed of granite blocks up to 100 tons. Its origins remain a mystery. How were these immense stones transported and assembled with such precision? The absence of inscriptions deepens the enigma. In Lebanon's Bekaa Valley stands Baalbek, home to the Temple of Jupiter, resting on megalithic stones weighing up to 1,000 tons. How did ancient builders position these massive stones with such exactness? Local legends speak of giants or divine beings as architects. Could there be truth in these tales? Connecting these sites, a pattern emerges. Structures suggesting knowledge beyond known ancient capabilities. Are these monuments the legacy of a forgotten advanced society, or do they point to influences beyond human origin? Join us as we explore the mysteries of Kara Hora, the Osirion, and Baalbek. We'll challenge our understanding of history and ask, did others once walk this earth? The answers may redefine everything we know about our past.
Deep within the rugged wilderness of the North Caucasus in Russia's Kabardino-Balkaria Republic, a secret has been waiting to be uncovered. In 2011, Russian speleologist Arthur Zhemukov embarked on an expedition that would question the very foundations of our historical knowledge. While exploring the peak of Kara Hora mountain, he discovered what appeared to be a simple vertical fissure. But as he and his team descended, they realized they had entered a man-made structure of astonishing complexity. Geometrically precise stone slabs lined the walls, massive megalithic blocks fitted together with near-perfect precision. Some stones weighed over 200 tons, yet they formed right angles with minimal gaps. How could such a colossal structure exist in this remote location, and who could have built it? Venturing deeper, they entered a vast underground hall, towering 36 meters high. Stone blocks resembling columns stood like silent sentinels, and polished walls mirrored those of Egypt's Grand Gallery in the Pyramid of Khufu. Narrow passageways branched off, some too tight for even a child to pass through. Was this an ancient underground complex with a purpose yet to be understood? Word of the discovery spread, attracting researchers intrigued by its implications. Precise measurements and 3D models emphasized the artificial design of the shaft, yet its purpose remained elusive. Some speculated it could be part of a long-lost structure buried beneath the mountain. Climbers noted constant airflow within the shaft, hinting at a ventilation system for a larger complex. Could this be evidence of an advanced civilization, or does it point to mysteries yet to be unraveled? Tragically, Zhemukov passed away in a car accident in 2015, leaving many questions unanswered. In subsequent years, new photographs reignited interest, revealing massive stone blocks and intriguing marks. Yet exploration halted, and the Kara Hora shaft remains an enigma, shrouded in both mystery and silence. Halfway across the world, buried beneath the desert sands of Abydos in Egypt, lies another puzzle, the Osirion. Hidden deep underground, this monumental structure defies traditional Egyptian architecture. Unlike the ornate temples adorned with hieroglyphs and artwork, the Osirion is stark and imposing, composed of colossal rose granite blocks weighing up to 100 tons. Its design breaks norms with a unique L-shaped configuration and a subterranean layout 15 feet below ground level. Archaeologists believe it may predate the nearby temple of Seti Bream by millennia, suggesting it held significant importance long before known Egyptian history. But how were these immense stones quarried from Aswan, over 200 miles away, transported and assembled with such precision? The lack of inscriptions raises the question, who built the Osirion and for what purpose? Adding to the enigma is the water that continuously fills its chambers, replenishing from an unknown source. Advanced seismic technology reveals that the visible portion is just the uppermost part of a much larger complex extending deep below. Researchers attempted to pump out the water, but found it impossible. The water's unique properties and warmer temperature defy conventional explanation. Could the Osirion be the work of a civilization with knowledge far beyond what we currently understand? Some have even noted personal health improvements after interacting with the site, sparking further intrigue. Is it possible that the Osirion was designed by beings with mastery over hydraulics and engineering, perhaps harnessing energies we have yet to comprehend? The mysteries compound as we consider the Osirion's purpose and the secrets that may lie hidden in its unexplored depths. In the fertile Bekaa Valley of Lebanon stands Baalbek, an ancient city inhabited for over 9 millennia. At its heart is the Temple of Jupiter, a colossal edifice remarkable for the platform upon which it rests, a foundation built from megalithic stones of staggering proportions. The trilithon stones, each weighing up to 1,000 tons, are among the largest ever used in construction. How did ancient builders move and position these massive stones with such precision? Nearby lies the quarry, home to even larger monoliths like the stone of the pregnant woman, weighing around 1,000 tons, and another discovered in 2014, weighing approximately 1,650 tons. These stones remain partially embedded in the bedrock, as if left unfinished. Theories on how they were transported range from sledges and rollers to earthen ramps and pulleys, but none fully explain the feat. Some suggest Baalbek's alignment with celestial bodies indicates a sophisticated understanding of astronomy. The temple complex's orientation toward the rising sun during the summer solstice suggests intentional design linking the earthly to the divine. Local legends speak of giants or divine beings who constructed these monumental structures. Could these stories hold a fragment of historical truth? Recent discoveries have revealed underground chambers and subterranean passages, suggesting multiple layers of significance, both practical and ceremonial. The precision and scale of Baalbek's construction challenge our assumptions about ancient capabilities. Is it possible that Baalbek, like the Kurora shaft and the Osirion, is evidence of a lost chapter in human history, or perhaps the work of influences beyond our understanding? Connecting these enigmatic sites, a pattern emerges. Structures that defy conventional explanations, massive stones moved and assembled with inexplicable precision, and features suggesting advanced knowledge of engineering and astronomy. Could these monuments be the legacy of a forgotten advanced civilization, or do they point to influences beyond human origin? If you enjoyed this video, then you're going to love our next adventure. Deep within the Great Pyramid of Giza, archaeologists have made a groundbreaking discovery, a locked chamber sealed for centuries. What secrets and treasures does it hold? Explore the labyrinthine passages and hidden chambers of this ancient marvel. Discover the mysteries surrounding its construction, purpose, and the pharaohs laid to rest within. Witness archaeologists unlocking the secrets of this hidden chamber, revealing artifacts and inscriptions that could rewrite ancient Egyptian history. Prepare to be amazed by the wonders of the Great Pyramid.
What if one of humanity's greatest monuments wasn't what we thought it was? For over 4,500 years, it has stood as a silent sentinel in the Sahara. A monument of such staggering scale and precision, it defies explanation. 2 million stones, some weighing as much as 15 tons, fit together with astonishing accuracy. But what was its true purpose? Hidden chambers, secret doors, and a mysterious void deep within its core. Did the ancients harness the Earth's energy in ways we are only beginning to understand? Join us as we unlock the secrets of the Great Pyramid and challenge everything you thought you knew about the past.
At the dawn of history, 2,500 years before Christ, an entire civilization gathered to build the greatest monuments on Earth. 13 million tons of solid rock, enough to build the city of London, were hauled across the deserts. Why? What vision drove this?